You're watching TVC Breakfast, and thanks again for joining us this second half of the show on our Monday edition, that is. And it's time now to dissect the fallout of Saturday's off-cycle elections that were held in Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa State. Quickly in the news at this time, well, the anticipated off-cycle elections in these states have come and gone, though we are still expecting final results in Bayelsa State. But in Imo State, Governor Hope Uzodinma has been re-elected for another term in office.
The election was contested, and the candidate received the following votes. Party A, 1017. Party APC, represented by Uzodinma Odidika Good Hope, score 540,308, 540308. Party LP, represented by Achonu Ineji, score 64,081, 64081. Party PDP, represented by Anyamu Samuel Nemeka, score 71503 votes, 71503 votes. That Uzodinma Odidika Good Hope of APC, having certified the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected. Signed as the returning officer, Fashino Abayo, 12th day of November 2023. I so present that. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Uzodinma says his election victory is an act of God and expressed gratitude to Imo residents for reposing confidence in him and his administration. The governor was speaking at the Thanksgiving service, which held at the Government House Chapel on Sunday, shortly after the Independent National Electoral Commission declared him winner of Saturday's off-cycle election in Owerri, the Imo State capital. Governor Uzodinma used that occasion to commend the security operatives for providing an enabling environment for a peaceful and credible election.
We have to thank Almighty God, because the hour the victory was declared by INEC was just a few minutes to our usual time of worship, 12 o'clock. And I decided we should come to church, at least for today, in a different manner, as a way of acknowledging the goodness of the Lord on all of us. Civil servants in Imo State, you have shown me love. I will also show you love. I want to also acknowledge the support of the traditional rulers in Imo State, the Council of Elders, for rising up to the occasion, defend the interests of Imo State. I will therefore use the chairman of Imo Elders Council as a point of contact to thank our elders in Imo State for a job well done.
And in a related development, the Independent National Electoral Commission declared the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, that's Usman Ododo, winner in the Kogi Governorship Election. Mr. Ododo won that election with 446,237 votes, defeating his closest rival, Muritala Jaka of the Social Democratic Party, who scored 259,052 votes, while Dino Melaye of the People's Democratic Party polled 46,362 votes. The state returning officer, Professor Johnson Urama, returned Usman Ododo governor-elect after the collation of results ran into the late hours on Sunday.
Usman Ododo of APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected. Thank you very much.
Well, some electorate from Opu Nembe community in Nembe local government area of Bayelsa State wants the Independent National Electoral Commission not to accept results from the areas. This in Bayelsa State, saying no election took place in Opu Nembe Basambiri. The people who staged a protest to the INEC office in Yanagua, the state capital, where the collation of results is ongoing, urged the electoral body to cancel results from Opu Nembe. Ikena Amechi reports.
Just as the collation of results from Saturday's Bayelsa governorship election was about to commence, some native of Opunembe stormed INEC office to protest alleged disenfranchisement, but were stopped by security operatives. They claim that no election took place in Nembe Basambri.
Precisely on the 11th of November, the day of the election, over 58 buses left Yanagua to Nembe. When we got to Nembe, the SWAT team and some other youths didn't allow us to go in. They started throwing tear gas at us. I must tell you that some of the boys even came out with guns in front of the SWAT team, and they were giving them cover. So at that stage, most of our boys were so worried, they had to start leaving. That was how we were disenfranchised.
No election. No election in the Riverine area. No election in Opunembe main town. We are 7 West. There is no election in Opunembe. So you are seeking the advice, and we want the INEC chairman to do the right thing.
For the Independent National Electoral Commission, the claims will be thoroughly investigated and necessary action taken.
We promise that every polling unit will get a BVAS. And for every polling unit that the BVAS is not used, that result will not be accepted. And remember, the serial numbers of all these BVAS we are taking. And the commission definitely, since this protest has come up, you have your poll agents at the various levels. They are still coming with this protest, and they are going to make their submission. And definitely it's going to be investigated.
Despite the assurance to investigate, the protesters remain at the vicinity of the INEC office. Ikenna Amechi, TVC News, Yenagoa.
Well, the Independent National Electoral Commission will resume collation of results in Bayelsa State at noon today. So we should get, a conclusion of the governorship election, so to speak, in Bayelsa State. But in the meantime, results have been announced in Kogi and Imo, as you must have been following. Let's bring up our guests now. We have joining us to talk about these developments since Saturday's election, a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria and a public affairs analyst, Abiodun Adedeji, as well as election observer Razak Olokoba. Gentlemen, you're welcome. Good to see you, Mr. Adedeji, as well as Mr. Olokoba.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for joining us at this time. Let's begin with your assessment of Saturday's elections, especially with the announcement of winners in Kogi and Imo State. In Kogi State, which trickled in last night, how do you react to Ododo's victory?
Well, it's always following the same pattern for elections all over the world, so Nigeria is not an exception. What you see there is not basically on performance alone, but there is a common understanding of power of incumbency, which always give an incumbent minimum of 30% victory, even before the election. And how do you arrive at that? For an incumbent, you have commissioners. Commissioners have 8. And it trickled down, they have executive assistants. They have so many political appointees who are, by their nature of their offices, we influence one vote or the other because of the kind of connections across the value chain. Now, what we're going to see is that for any oppositions to take off the incumbent, you need to work for the remaining 70%. To get the first 30% off, then I now work towards the remaining 30%. And that's what you see playing out in both Imo and Kogi. However, when you look at the opposition in Bayelsa, I mean in Imo State, the PDP, they went to that election with divided voices and divided house.
All right. I will take you up on that. I want to quickly get opening remarks from Mr. Olokoba as well before we go on a break, and then we can start the discussions proper. So, to what extent do you agree with Mr. Adedeji's submission so far?
Well, I need to endorse what you have said, because I wanted to say that it's getting better. The only concern is the attitude of the political class. And we must try as much as possible to encourage the election umpires, the INEC, to encourage our political class to prepare their mind for loss. And when ordinary Nigerians have confidence, this much confidence, we came out to vote. Only for you to come out and disparage the effort of Nigeria, it's not always good, because what is the position of the opposition in Kogi and Imo is similar, saying that the election is, and from the last 3 presidents, they have behaved like true Democrats. We give it to Jonathan. There's no undue interference in elections, particularly staggered election like this. You see opposition winning when it was there. The same thing when Buhari came in. Ditto for Asiwaju too. Since he has become the president, there's no strong attitude and political character. The one we witnessed during Obasanjo, where the president was out to be saying it's a do-or-die affair. Tinubu did not demonstrate that kind of thing. So it is for the political class to leverage on that kind of spirit to do their work. And just like we have said, when you win an election, the character of Nigerian politician is refusal to admit loss. So for us, as the general mass of Nigerians, our conclusion is that democracy in Nigeria is getting strengthened, and we are consolidating.
All right.
From the result of what you have seen, Kogi, Bayelsa, and Imo.
And Imo State.